This video is sponsored by Bityard. With over 400 cryptos to trade on their spot, perpetual coin futures, USDT futures, with leverage of 1x to up to 125x, you can trade foreign exchange, commodities like gold, silver and oil, and traditional markets like Nasdaq, all with some of the lowest fees available on any trading platform. You can use their copy trader to copy other traders with better performance than you, or you can become a copy trader yourself and earn a few extra percent from the people that follow you. Plus, you got 9 out of 10 stars from the Coin Bureau guy. Bityard. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Wrecked City channel, where we get wrecked on a regular basis, waking up every day and aging at probably about 5 years each week at this point. Hopefully I'll get my youthful glow back at some point, but at the moment this, it doesn't look likely. I am predicting the everything bounce, so I suggest you watch that video I made a couple of days ago with a part 2 yesterday, as we can start to see the results of that already, with wheat and oil futures. But again, I won't bore you to death with all those details. We can think about that on another video. So let's think about what this might be. We could be looking at a head and shoulders, and this would be our neckline. Basically, here's your shoulder. Oh, what the heck? Here's your shoulder this side. Whee, another shoulder and another shoulder, and we can do this to kind of speculate. Speculation is the name of the game here, as to where the low might be. So you measure that on the breakdown, and it brings us to roughly, give or take, roughly speaking, between 15,000 16,000. Now we could easily get wicks down lower than that, because we all know that people are highly emotional at the moment. Very, very emotional. I can see even on Twitter some of the top traders saying, "That's it, no more crypto for me, I'm done, I'm out." Which, I'm amazed at, to be honest with you. I'm amazed at. This is a highly lucrative market, even in these environments. So let's have a think about that. So 16,000, what does that mean on a historical basis? What does it mean? What does it mean? Let's have a think. So we go back to the previous parabolic high. We had several candle bodies and wicks kind of floating around that 16,000. But more than that, if anyone was around back in the olden days, not even 2 years ago, basically, the olden days. Sorry, just spat on myself. We can see that we found 2 resistance levels here, broke it, flipped it to support on this liquidity grab. So this was our first attempt to break above 20,000, and we saw a huge, really fast breakdown, to be honest with you, from about 19,500, more or less where we are right now, to the tune of 17%, and that took place within a 24-hour period. It was really quick, I remember it. And then from there we launched and carried on going, and we had a great time. Those were the days. Will they ever come again? So that's Bitcoin for you, but this particularly isn't really a video about Bitcoin, but it's worth thinking about where it could be going down to, and that is the next level. That's the next level. So this one's all about the altcoin situation. So about last week we made a rotation, I think it was a week ago actually, from altcoins. So from Bitcoin into altcoins, and the reason for that was our beautiful Bitcoin dominance chart. Where are we hiding? We're over here. So Bitcoin dominance chart reaching up to this level of resistance. I got it absolutely to the tick here. 48.7% dominance. Made the rotation, and I married that rotation with, I think I'm going to sneeze, hang on. Made that decision based on not just the dominance chart, but the ones that I chose were the ones that were floating around significant supports on their Bitcoin pairs, right? So this is the important thing. And I remember doing that video and comments coming through going, "What are you doing? You think there's an alt season? Bitcoin dominance is going to go up because I follow somebody with lots of subscribers and they told me that." Well, it's not that simple. Sometimes, the best trades are the ones that go against the grain. And it's nice to see that some TA eventually works. Now, no altcoin is created equal, but the 2 coins that I did choose to make the major rotation into was Algorand. Married the Bitcoin dominance chart with its own Bitcoin pair, found at a major level of support here based around these areas, where we did catapult quite high. Now, it's a different market, not really expecting that, but it's a decent move. You might think of that and go, "Oh, what's that?" But actually, that's a 32% move. And if you go back in time, all those days ago, to basically last weekend when I was talking about, well, that was the day that we pulled the trigger. We've been talking about it for weeks leading up to that on the channel, and probably more than that on the Patreon, saying this is something, get ready for it. So we've been planning it for a while. It didn't just happen out of the blue. I didn't just suddenly just go, wake up in the morning, I'm going to buy some altcoins, going to buy Chainlink, and I'm going to buy Algorand. That's not how it works. It's all very much planned meticulously and executed perfectly. on this occasion, like I say, there's been plenty of bad calls take place, but it's nice to see that this one, again, you got to play the cards you dealt in trading, haven't you? You got to play the cards you dealt. So I was dealt some cards and I played them, and it's played out okay. But I said, yeah, don't expect anything between 10 and 50% is what we're looking to do. So that means if I put a Bitcoin into Algorand at this level and I took it out right now, I would then have 1.3 Bitcoin. That's all right, isn't it? That's not bad. You can't complain with that kind of move. Now, no altcoin is created equal, and what I want to show you here is actually, if we do continue with these kind of trajectory, these kind of moves, some of these charts, not all, some of these charts are actually brewing decent continuation signals and signs of their own. This is Algorand on its 4 hourly. Again, you know, it's the starting block of what could be something good. We do have Itchy Cloud's pump signal, and I'd argue that's played out. We are getting a golden cross now, brewing on the 4 hourly. This one's not yet achieved it, but there are some that have already achieved that. So let's have a look at one of those then, shall we? Love it or hate it, XRP, baby. We've already got our golden cross. Lovely. Now, the reason I've drawn all this crap in there is because I was explaining to one of my top tier patrons about how this is going to likely play out, because they want to know about XRP, which is that, yeah, this is good. This is strength. This is a chart that is going from strength to strength, but normally when you see a golden cross, you would expect to see a retest of some of the lower zones, and so I'm not expecting it to hold up here for much longer. I would likely expect it to dump down into these areas, and we'll see how it holds up on any of these moving averages, whether it's the 200 or the 50 or maybe even just the 20. Any of those could easily be a support. Now, if we think about it in terms of momentum is dwindling. We've got bearish divergence here as well, which adds to the idea that would likely happen as well. So again, this is all just short-term stuff, but in the grander context of what we're seeing here, it's actually much better than something like a Bitcoin chart, which, as far as its 4 hours is concerned, is completely upside down. You know, 200 exponential at the top, 10 exponential at the bottom. That's not how things are supposed to be. They're not supposed to be like that. They're supposed to be like this. This is what you want to see. This is why golden crosses are important, because it's showing the momentum building and gathering to the upside of a trend. It's not the cross itself that is the signal. Again, you know, that is not how it works. Some people can play those crosses, but this is, I think, why we often get dumped down into it, is because people are late to the party. We've got a golden cross. Let's go to Wreck City, and that's where they end up going. So again, you know, I'm just trying to bring this to your attention that, you know, it's not as easy and as simple as listening to the most popular YouTuber out there that says the Bitcoin dominance is going to go to 70% again. Because although that may be true over a much longer period of time, you know, the rotation has already begun. We got in at the bottom of that, and we're enjoying ourselves, and now we're being cautionary about where it's likely to go. Potentially, you know, giving up some of those sats before it continues on. I should never really underestimate altcoins, but again, no altcoin is created equal. So there's your XRP. Now I brought VRA up here just to show you that even shitcoins can perform like this. Again, I didn't buy any of this, but if you had done it on that rotation event, you would have received from bottom to top a 44% move. Again, you know, it is what it is. It's not the greatest chart. The liquidity is pretty low, so I would generally stay away from shitcoins like this. And this is what I was trying to put across on my other video, I'm trying to hint at more of the videos that you should go and look at, which is what altcoins and why I'll be buying them and holding them for prolonged periods of time. And all of them are larger market cap, solid teams, you know, real world implications to the utilization of whatever it is that sort of problem they're trying to solve, rather than things like VRA, which is nice to buy when you know, when we're at a much higher Bitcoin dominance area, but it'll just gain traction, and the low liquidity will be good if you're in at the bottom of the Ponzi scheme. You make loads of money, but I'm not like I say, I'm not slagging it off. It's you know, we've made serious cash out of VRA on this channel, and I love it for that. But for the moment, you know, it's okay, but it's far from an XRP style chart, although it could continue to become one, but it's certainly not one now. Even, you know, I'm just flicking around some of these charts here just to show you the momentum and the strength that have built out of these. On the 4 hourlies are really good. And here's ADA, golden cross all the way back down here prior to the dump, got the actual dump here. This was the rotation event, and lo and behold, I think this one has probably yielded the most. Not that I took part in it. Oh no, it's about 37, 38, fair enough. Which was the biggest one? I think it was Sol. Sol's done the biggest move. And again, this hasn't even got a golden cross. We're looking at this on a 4 hourly. It doesn't even look that good. But again, if you marked the rotation event on the Bitcoin dominance chart, you could have married Is this a significant support for Sol? But it ended up doing a 45% move. Again, I didn't play this one myself, but let's just think about where that support was. Was it significant on a horizontal basis? Yeah, kind of. There's rough confluence to it, but not particularly, not as strong as Algorand, for instance. So it's like I say, it's why I didn't play it. But again, yeah, it's worked out quite well. And Chainlink as well, one of my buys on the capitulation dump, which has yielded about 30% or so. Just measure it just for good value. Just measure it. What did it do from the top to the bottom? So it was the top performing one in that, but it's given up some of those sats already. But yeah, there's a 50% move after that event. So again, highly tradable, and the chart looks reasonably good, although it wants to consolidate. So we'll be looking for these golden crosses to kind of get retested. But again, really good results from just 1 week. Again, yeah, the two major ones that I put into was Chainlink and Algorand. So Chainlink 50% from bottom to top, Algorand currently still at 30%. Not bad. But some of these coins aren't performing in that kind of way, right? This is Matic, so one of our old favourites on the channel, bought this, give or take, between 1 and 2 cents for the most part, and sold most at $1. Yeah. Again, people called me paper hands at the time, but yeah, that was always my plan. And you can't, it doesn't matter what people call you when you make 100x. It's still 100x. So we measure this from where we are right now. It's a measly 8% up. You know, it's still better than holding Bitcoin, and then from its bottom to the top, it's 13%. Measly performance. Same with Harmony One, which is something I've been saying I'm not convinced with. Again, bought this at 22 sats back in the olden days, and sold that. That's been better than Matic, but again, measly in comparison to, you know, Chainlink being the biggest one so far, and the one that I took part in with the highest amount of Bitcoins. So, like I say, however you choose to play this market, whether in an upside or a downside, you can still trade appropriately if you're choosing to interpret your balance in the form of how many Bitcoins you own, rather than how many what a Bitcoin's worth. And this is what I always try and say, all the way on the upside. I was saying this. I was saying, look, we're in an alt season. I trade into Bitcoin. That's my thing. And I've got, I start with this amount, I end with this amount. That's a trade for me. And just increasing the amount of Bitcoins that I own constantly. I do that in an uptrend. I can do that in a downtrend. And that is the name of the game for me, accumulation of Bitcoins. No need for all this bloody leverage that people's banging on about. And I know that I've got a channel sponsor that is, it's a spot exchange, but they, obviously there's leverage on there. I've been pushing them because I said, look, I'm not, the one thing I'm not comfortable about using Bityard or promoting Bityard's leverage is that you don't offer any lower than 5%. 5x, and now they've brought it all the way down to 1x. So I was like, thank you for that. I'll mention the leverage now, because if you are going to do leverage, it's got to be low. It's got to be low. And if you're not used to trading, or if you're still learning, just don't do it. You can practice on their demo account, for instance. But you don't need any of that if you choose to trade like me, or at least a portion of how you trade like me, which is just trying to incrementally accumulate Bitcoins through the use of altcoins. And there are many charts with decent liquidity. Look at Chainlink, 500 Bitcoins in a 24-hour period just to trade it. The liquidity is high. You can do it. It's easy enough. Your orders will get filled. Stuff like VRA, not so much, but for something like Chainlink, absolutely, definitely. What's Algo? Pretty small in all fairness, but still. The opportunity is there. It depends on where your psychology is, and by that I mean, rather than thinking about, oh my god, my Bitcoin is worth less, just trying to think about how many Bitcoins you've got. Because you know what, Bitcoin doesn't stay low for very long. It will eventually go back up again. So whether you're sitting on one Bitcoin now all the way through until the next bull market peak, or you're incrementally trading, going, all right, let's do this. Whether you're using trading bots with Bitsgap, or if you're making spot trades like we've done this week, I've managed to turn X amount of Bitcoin into XX amount of Bitcoin, in a bear market. And do you know what? Those Bitcoins, they'll be sitting safely in my ledger. The ones that I've managed to accumulate, my spot float goes back into a spot float, and we just rinse and repeat. So I am expecting the everything bounce anyway. Within a 2 to 3 week period, we're starting to see the signs of that basically, and all we're trying to do is front run the CPI data. So I don't think we're going to stay down here for very long for Bitcoin anyway. We might get to 16,000 first. We might not. We might bounce a decent bounce from here, but for the moment it doesn't look very bouncy, I have to say. But we still have this to hold on to. Alright, and we still have this, which is our money flow index, still printing a very high read of divergence. If we come down to 16,000, we're almost certainly going to remain high on the divergence here, and this has marked the low each single time. Low, 50% drop, low, 50% drop, and then off to the races. So yeah, let's just extend this chart. You've probably seen it before if you've watched the channel, but yeah, low, higher low, up, low, higher low, up, low, higher low. So look, it's not for me to tell you what to do. I'm not your financial advisor, but there is a method to the madness, whether you're staring at a Bitcoin chart or Bitcoin pairs or using trading bots or whatever. There's loads of different ways to crush the market, and the best trades are the ones that you do thinking forward. Don't think over the next 5 minutes or into next week. Think forward. Think forward, and that is how you make the money. Crypto is so lucrative, right? And when you surf the back of red candles like this through a variety of different ways, you will end up victorious. I love seeing people saying they're exiting the market and that Bitcoin's a scam and this, that and the other, because it's just silly. It's silly. It's crazy to say something like that. And guess what? If anyone was around here, you would have heard the same thing. You would have heard the same thing here, and you would have heard the same thing here and over here. You hear it all the time. Just like you hear your next door neighbor asking you how to join Coinbase and if you can help them buy crypto as Matt Damon tells them to do it. You know, it's people are, you know, we're complicated, but we're also very simple. You know, if you could remove the emotional component to your brain and see it for what it is, you would see it a hell of a lot differently. Trust me, you definitely would. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. But thank you for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.